Alrighty, friends. Mr. D handed you out your notes, and I'm telling you this is the easiest lesson of the year. Thank you for getting your multiplication charts out. Today you are going to multiply and divide our sign numbers. So much easier than adding and subtracting them. Okay? So, easy lesson. I'm going to give you the chart that you also learned in middle school. You all taught me that last year. I didn't know it. But does anybody remember if you multiply two positives and two negatives, or two negatives, what is your answer? Corey, not to go on the field. I am.
You just called him Corey.
I was only one time.
That's
No,
great.
it should be a bonus for Casey. What is it, Michaela? Two positives, two negatives? Is it a positive or negative?
Two pencils.
You guys get a 50-50 chance. If I multiply this times this, or this times this, what is my answer, Nathan?
Positive.
You are so good. Thank you. Very good. If I do this, multiplying two numbers with different signs, is it a positive or a negative, Nathan?
Negative.
Zeth, agree or disagree?
I'm going to have to disagree on that one.
Cole, what is it?
It's nay.
Zeth or Cole and Nathan are correct. Okay. But here's the thing, and I don't know if I have room on here to write. Maybe this will ring a bell from middle school. What is this? Let's look. I don't need the noise. If I have a positive, negative, 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 positive, negative, 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 positive. Anybody ring a bell?
Yes.
Tic-tac-toe.
And if it's diagonal two positives, it's going to be a positive. If it's a negative and a positive, it's a negative.
Wait, we did that in the middle?
Yeah, that's a... All right, so let's do the test. Do I, on the first one, have two positives or two negatives?
Negative.
So it's going to be a positive. Look at your charts. It's not 38. It's
36.
Yep. So negative times a negative is a positive. What is a positive times a negative? Negative what, everybody?
12.
Yep. Ooh-wee. Look at this guy. We can't use our chart. You can tell me, is it positive or negative?
Positive.
So, remember, when you multiply decimals by hand, you don't line up the decimals like you do when you add or subtract. You line up the numbers, move the decimal at the end. On our chart, what is 9 times 8?
72.
72. You write the 2, carry your 7. 32 plus 7 is...
39.
And then there's one number behind the decimal, so we move our decimal over 1. 39.2.
Wow.
Now, tonight, I won't yell at you a lot for the work, because a lot of it's not work, but when one or two problems comes up that needs the work, you better
A
show
lot
me.
of it is mental
Yeah,
math.
this one.
Or using your chart. Okay, let's do another one.
Oh, man,
When we multiply fractions, the same number rules come into play. But if it's a whole number, you need to put it over 1. Then you're going to multiply the tops or the numerators and then the denominators. You do not need a common denominator. So that hard work is not going to happen here. You just need your multiplication chart. Okay, but before that, Nathan, since I have a positive and a negative, what's my answer going to be? Negative. I'm going to put the 5 over the 1. My directions, no common denominator. Do the tops. What's 5 times 2, guys?
10.
What's 3 times 1?
3.
Okay? And listen, we do our homework or our notes for you to use during the homework. So if you come in here tomorrow and don't have the whole numbers put over 1 or mess up the signs, it's going to irritate me because that tells me that we do not look at our notes at home. Yes, Nathan?
Wait, what is it called? Is it called a mixed fraction?
This is improper. I accept this, but do you remember how to turn it to a mixed fraction?
Yeah.
You divide the bottom into the top. So it goes in 3 times with 1 left over, and that left over goes over the guy doing the dividing. I accept impropers though, but that's perfect, yes. Alrighty, let's do another one. I don't need to put a 1 in my denominator here, I just multiply straight across. But is my answer going to be positive or negative, friends? Brennan? Negative, because a negative and a positive is a negative. Multiplying my numerators, 2 times 3, Cora response, everybody. 6, 3 times 4.
7.
Okay. Do not leave me 6/12. You can reduce that, Michaela. 1/2. If you have to see it, 6 goes into itself once, 12 twice. Okay, this guy, whole number, put him over 1. Negative and a positive's a negative. What are you going to give me for 6 times 3? Zach.
You give me the 6 one time.
Well, we're going to multiply them, buddy. What's 6 times 3?
Oh, negative 18.
Okay, 18, and it was negative. Thank you, Cole. That was perfect. Zach, 4 times 1. We're just multiplying numerators, and it's 4. Can I reduce that? By what?
Oh, by
Since they're both even, we know they're automatically divisible by
2.
Always, and if you can't think of it, just start with 2. Very good. Okay, one more. You all know how to do the plugging in, so I'm going to skip those for time's sake. But I do want to see the work. I want you to show me plugging in -8 for C and -7 for D. If you don't show me this step, I'm not going to give you credit for tomorrow. Real quick, can anybody tell me this answer? Zach?
Not the answer.
Okay. Tell me, is it going to be positive or negative?
Positive.
Well, the inside's positive, but then it's a negative out. Negative what, Michaela? I thought you were raising your hand. Casey, you didn't write one thing down. 56. Okay, last little bit. All 3 of these expressions are different. This tells me to take the opposite of 3 times itself 4 times. Remember, the exponent tells you how many times you're going to multiply it. So 3 times itself 4 times is 81. It's going to be negative. But it's different than this guy, because this guy says write the -3 4 times. Can you see how this negative is in the parentheses and this guy is not? Big difference. This guy's a positive 81, and I'm telling you 100%, there's one like this on the quiz. Okay?
Wait, I didn't finish.
I'm not doing anything.
I didn't finish.
Okay. How many times does it tell me to write -2/3 for that one? Because it's in parentheses, Dakota, with the exponent, 2. If the negative's in the parentheses, you write that how many times your exponent tells you. What's a negative times a negative? Anybody?
Oh, it's a positive.
Yep, so positive, and it's a 2 times 2 over 3 times 3.
That's great.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It is. Okay. Mr. D is going to hand you your homework, and we are doing